all the way from OKC. I have Renegade. To the best of your knowledge, before Crips and Bloods came to OKC, were there other gangs that were already there?
I mean, the only thing I knew it was like they had the little groups of, neighborhoods and stuff like that. And then around the time, with colors and all that. Like you've heard that before, but that's really around the time that, to my recollection, where it really started popping off.
Okay, so Colors came out in 1988, so that makes a lot of sense.
Somewhere around there. Yep.
Yeah, and so you just started noticing just different Bloods and Crips just popping up everywhere.
Yeah, I had been back and forth to Oklahoma City. My brother was, he was a Blood, and this had to be back in, this was probably about 87. And, I think he was a Blood, but I think some people from Cali put him on or whatever. So, yeah, but it wasn't many around 87 or 86 and nothing like that.
Okay. And shit, the 80s, the mid to late 80s, probably the biggest form of entertainment, even going into the early 90s, was gangster rap. Do you remember gangster rap having an effect on that as well? Things like Pyru Love and Banging on Wax.
I was just jamming to that, what you just had on. I remember that. Oh, yeah, man, that had music have always had an effect, even now with that. But, yeah, it was really, that was really, it made a lot of people go a little crazy to music.
Okay.
So
was that Banging on Wax album, was that pretty big down there from what you remember?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, yeah. Man, that was huge down there. Everybody was, bumping that. The Crips had their, what they played, and we had our side of it on the same CD, So, it was cracking.
Yeah, and I have to say, and many Crips have also said this who are in my age range, everybody hands down says that the Bloods had the hotter side.
Oh yeah, no doubt. But I'm gonna say that anyway. But they had things. They was doing their thing too. Though.
I literally had Crips who told me they were bumping Pyru Love on the down low. I was like, damn.
Oh yeah, come on. You gotta bump. That was jam. Yeah, my story's like this. Like when I first, got to Oklahoma. First, like I said, I used to hang around with Vice Lords, and when I used to live in Jackson, Mississippi, because my mother was there. So I always hung around with the Vice Lord because that was just the neighborhood and the project. So when I got to Oklahoma City, actually I went to Riverside, California too. So I always hung around Bloods, but I was just affiliated because I just liked the red. I was like, yeah, these dudes are cool. But my OGs is from LA. So because it was no Outlaw 20, it was Outlaw 30s is who I hung around in Oklahoma City. So, but Outlaw 20s is, that's from California on the south side, East LA, right? Okay. Where y'all at? So my OGs actually came from California and put me on.
And who are some of the other gangs out there in OKC that we might recognize out here in LA?
Back then it was, Bud, you had, Inglewood family, 456 Pyru. My brother was from VNG. You had, Eastside Pyru. But at that time, when I gang banged, we were outnumbered like big time by Crips. Like it was like probably 10 Crips to one every Blood or something. So it was mostly Crips, but it was Inglewood family would probably be the biggest one, and 456 Pyru was the biggest, and Outlaw 30s. I was affiliated with Outlaw 30s in Oklahoma City. But like I say, the dudes came from California, and I just like their swag because I spend most of my time, shooting and with the violence. But they came with the money, dudes straight from Cali, and they was like, man, they was making money. I was like, man, let me, they like me, and I was like, hey, man, what y'all doing?
So you were running the streets, jumped off the porch early, and you told me that you did 7 years in prison.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep.
So did you do time like in jail or anything before then?
Man, I just 6 months in the county, I went straight to prison.
Damn.
6 months in the city jail, whatever. I went straight to prison.
Wow. What were you convicted of?
2 counts of armed robbery with a firearm. Because we was, like I said, man, that's why I went, man. We was doing some everything. I mean, I never was no drug dealer and all that, but I was, just robbing
people. You were a gunman, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.